What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jonathan, and joining me today is the one and only Shane Smith.
I appreciate that, John. I'm happy to be here, man. How you doing?
Not too bad, brother. Not too bad. And today we are here to discuss the rumors, the rumblings. It's something, honestly, me as a comic book fan, I cannot get it out of my brain. Maybe I shouldn't obsess over things like this, Shane, like I do, but I do. Recently, Kevin Feige made comments in an interview. I actually have them word for word on my phone. I'm going to pull it up so that I'm not misquoting him.
Yeah, get your facts straight, John.
Yeah, I got to get my facts straight. So this is the direct quote from Kevin Feige on the matter, because as you can imagine, that's all that he gets asked about, right? Oh, right. So when are you going to finally tell us that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to be in the new Spider-Man movie? When are you going to tell us about, when are you going to make it official? Because don't forget, this has not been made official yet.
Right. It's all just speculation.
And it's nuts to me. It really is crazy. And anyway, let me read the quote before I get carried away too much. Rumors are fun because many of them are true and many of them are not true. The danger is when you get into the expectation game, or the expectations game of wanting people to be excited about the movie they get and not disappointed about the movie they don't get. And there's a lot of different ways to take that. But in my brain does this.
Me too. I mean, the thing that's unfortunate about it, though, is you're kind of torn because everybody says, oh, there's leaks, and you want to trust your trusty sources. But in the same breath, when the director of the mastermind of all the greatness decides to tell you, hey, guys, let's not get carried away here. That makes you nervous because we are exactly who he's talking to.
Yep. It's very scary for me because, and I feel like we've already gotten to that point of no return where a lot of people will probably be disappointed if they go to the movie with these expectations and Tobey and Andrew are not in the film. And
right.
That's the thing that we have to remember. And I've been saying that on my podcast for months now. And almost even when I say it in the back of my brain, I'm like, yeah, but they're going to be in it,
yeah.
Because I always refer to it as, we got to keep in mind, we got to keep a pinch of salt here. This could possibly not happen, but I don't know, man. I think that there are going to be a lot of not just disappointed hardcore fans, but I think that there's going to be a lot of disappointed fans in general.
Well,
this doesn't happen.
Something to take into consideration is we live in a time where all it takes is a overpopularized tweet or an overpopularized Reddit thread before your whole ship tanks. You know what I'm saying? And I think that there might be I think personally as a normie consumer, I think that maybe they're just over worried about it, even though, which honestly, understandably so, there's so much money and prestige on the line that they want to go above and beyond to make people feel whatever. But this is the thing. I as someone who, like I said, I am a normie, so I'm not a purist by any state of the recollection, but I think that he's full of BS. I think he is feeding us a load of corn because he wants us to lower our expectations. So again, we will be blasted out of the theater because we'll be so excited when we see these people. It's going to make you cry when you see these characters arrive in the movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm 100% without a shadow of a doubt confident that he is full of, I am 99.73% sure that he is full of it, which, like you said, that still leaves the room. But it's why would he not just come out and say, hey guys, sorry, we didn't get Andrew Garfield, or hey guys, sorry, we didn't get Tobey Maguire. We're telling you because we don't want you to be upset when you come see the movie and leave immediately and go straight to your social pages and tell everybody, don't go watch this because it's a failure and it let me down.
You know what? You're right. Think about Kevin Feige in his position right now if he was doing these press interviews and everything for Spider-Man or for other movies that when Spider-Man's on the horizon,
right around the corner, like a little over a month away.
Yeah. If Andrew Garfield and Tobey were not in these films, he would be in panic mode right now. And he would literally be saying, like you said, he would be specifically saying, hey guys, I don't know where these rumors got started, but Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are not in this film.
Yeah.
He would probably straight up
he could find a fun way to say that. You know what I'm saying? You could, and this is, we're not just talking about, I mean, of course, we're talking about money, like big money between two of the biggest like people to ever make movies, Sony and Disney or whatever. Like this is a big deal, not just movies. This is legacy. This, like, for Kevin Feige, you think he's got the opportunity to tell you more than what he's telling us? No, it sounds like he's just pulling our leg. He's trying to bring us down, which I'm totally cool with if that's what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, otherwise it's like, hey, dude, look, we're adults, because the kids don't care. The kids don't care. They're going to watch Spider-Man either way. But us, we're adults. You can tell us, and we can sulk and be sad and still go buy our tickets to go to the movie because we'll be over it by then.
At least we'll know. Yeah, I think you got a point there, man. I think that's probably the most telling thing about this, all of it. Because now there have been, recently Andrew Garfield was interviewed on a different show. I think it might have been, Jimmy Kimmel or something like that. It was a late night TV show. And Andrew Garfield was asked a question about this film, whether or not he was in it. And there was even some images that surfaced recently of Andrew Garfield in his Spider-Man costume. And it's very clearly like new pictures. This isn't from 7 years ago, 6 years ago, whenever he was playing Spider-Man. Right. These are pictures that were taken, but he was saying that those pictures were fake and, somebody had photoshopped him into the suit and this and that, which is still a possibility. But I think that, they're contractually obligated to say that they're not in this film. They can't just be like, oh yeah, we're in the film, because what's his name? The guy that plays Dr. Octopus, Alfred Molina, whenever he came out and was telling everybody all the deets about his role in this movie, oh yeah, they made me look the same way that I looked, 20 years ago when I played this role. And
of course he's going to go out of his way to explain his role, because he probably hadn't had nothing popping off since Spider-Man.
Exactly. So, well, he's had some other things. He's a great actor.
I'm being a hater.
But Alfred Molina didn't. No F's given, right? Like, he spilled all the deets about his role. And I think that he got in trouble, from Marvel for that. But like you said, in his position, he's like, oh, it doesn't matter to me, because it's not like I'm coming back again, Yeah,
I can assure you he won't be back for No Way Home 2.
Yeah. And if he has a mysterious car accident in the next couple of weeks, don't be surprised. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, big money, bro. Big money,
This happened like months ago. And this was already after they were talking about Jamie Foxx returning as Electro. But that was the very first announcement that we got from this movie. And when I heard that, and I think when a lot of casual and normal hardcore whatever fans heard about that, they were like, that's interesting. Are they just, rebooting the character of Electro but giving Jamie Foxx another chance at the role? Or, a lot of people didn't know what to think about that. I was thinking that. I was thinking like, okay, so they're going to bring Jamie Foxx back, but he's not going to play the same version of Electro that he played in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But turns out that that's probably more than likely what's going to happen. They're not recasting or rebooting. It might be a slightly different variant of the character. If you've been watching Loki and some of these other Marvel shows, especially Loki recently, then you're familiar with the term variant, but it's basically like the same character, but a slightly different version, Yeah,
it's basically like Jamie Foxx as a pig.
What you mean?
No, it's a crocodile, not a pig. Sorry. Jamie Foxx is an alligator. I'm just joking. But honestly, it just, from my perspective, when I first saw, I was trying to play off the Loki or whatever.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I said pig at first though, so clearly that didn't make any sense. But but no, I like, when I saw that, they were talking about bringing Jamie Foxx back, I think that they were saying something about Michael Keaton coming back and Jamie Foxx coming back. I don't remember.
Michael Keaton's coming back for the new Flash film, but I can't remember, honestly. I can't remember which announcements came first. Like you said,
Right.
I think they were pretty close to each other.
Well, I was thinking Michael Keaton as the Vulture or whatever he was.
No,
But hear me out. Hear me out. I know that's not official. I'm talking about scrolling down Facebook, and every 3 things you've got an ad, and it's things you're
Yeah.
interested in. And
Hey.
it was like Jamie Foxx and Michael Keaton coming back for the whatever. Now, since I saw that forever ago, not forever ago, but many months ago, the first thing I thought was like, I sure hope they're not just bringing them back, because there's way more, like William Dafoe, obviously whoever the guy was that played Sandman, I'd rather see him than see the Vulture, which the Vulture was still in this timeline, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
When he was, or not, yeah, this timeline or whatever. But Jamie Foxx wasn't. But when I heard that, I was like, okay, Jamie Foxx means that they're going from a completely different story. They're not going to come from, or not story, but variant, as you would say, or the universe would say.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, so the Vulture makes sense, kind of. I mean, that kind of seemed like there was a lid on it when it was all said and done. But in the same breath, they could still make a way. But Jamie Foxx, and then that trailer got leaked, the first one, that got leaked without all the CGI and stuff in it or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh man, like what? Like they've got all kinds of people coming back. All I could think to myself before I saw that trailer was like, look, if all they're going to give us is the not so amazing Spider-Man's villains and Michael Keaton, who probably will take a buck. He's about like Nick Cage at this point, but he just happened to have done way cooler movies.
Hey, wait a minute. You better tread carefully, buddy. Michael Keaton is on a whole different level than Nick Cage.
That's a matter of opinion.
Back in his heyday, okay, Nick Cage had a lot of great projects, and Nick Cage is a good actor, but Michael Keaton, to me, like when you think of his more modern stuff, even like Birdman, and I loved him as Vulture. Shane, you didn't. I was like literally head over heels, not like in a homosexual way, but like.
But a problem with homosexuals, John?
Oh, of course not, Shane. No, I'm just saying that I wasn't attracted to him, but.
Right.
I was just in love with his performance. I thought he did such a wonderful job as the Vulture, man. And there was that one scene. I talk about it all the time on the show, but I love when he put his arm back on the armrest, and when he found out that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. That just good.
It was awkward, man. I sat there and I watched it at home, and I held my breath. I was like, "Oh man,
yep."
Poor Peter.
That was his performance, man. Just making you feel that way. But yeah. Michael Keaton, come on! Don't compare Michael Keaton to Nick Cage, Shane.
I'm playing devil's advocate, John. You take it for what it's worth. Take it with a grain of salt. But in the same breath, I do think something that I will say that was weird about him playing Vulture. Not to harp, but something was weird about him playing Vulture was because, as someone who didn't read that many comics when I was younger, it was pretty crazy. Like for me to just see him as this character. You know what I'm saying? It's like him being a dad, and like him also having a secret life where he's this bad guy or whatever. Because for not Michael Keaton, but the Vulture, because everything that I had ever seen was basically like out of video games or like some crazy online video or something. And it's always like Vulture. Like there's no backstory. It's just always just like, hey, I'm this guy and I blah, 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 blah. And he kind of
made him a sympathetic villain, like which falls in the same theme with a lot of Spider-Man villains. When you look at Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2, he had that sympathetic origin story and, background like you're talking about. I love Michael Keaton. That's interesting that you bring him up, though. I never thought about him coming back for this movie, but it would make a lot of sense if we saw that. I honestly believe that this film is going to be like an Avengers level movie for the Spider-Verse. So we're going to have Doctor Strange, we're going to have Spider-Man, we're going to have all of his rogues gallery from previous and current films, and we're going to have possibly, Andrew and Tobey in there as well. And we're probably going to get a few other random appearances and cameos. Like I think that it's very likely that Venom's going to be in there. I don't know if you ever watched the newest Venom yet, the Venom Let There Be Carnage.
I have not. I listened to your review though.
You didn't miss
much.
Solid work. But there was a post-credit scene that was very spoiler alert, by the way, anyone that hasn't seen Venom Let There Be Carnage, but there was a post-credit sequence in there at the end of that film, which to me was the best thing about the movie,
I
But
Googled it after everybody got on Facebook and was like, "Oh my god, post-credit scene." And I Googled it. I had to know.
yeah, and basically, now some way or another, Venom is in the same universe as the MCU characters, at least for now. Yeah, there's a lot of exciting things happening. Back to the original point that you brought up. We're getting way off topic, I feel like, but
Hey, we're enjoying ourselves.
exactly. The point you made at the very tippy top of the show, though, was the best point I've ever heard as far as the argument for whether or not these guys are going to be. If these guys were not going to be in this film, Kevin Feige would straight up deny, like he would straight up specifically say, "Hey, I don't know how these rumors got started, but Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are not going to be in this movie. I really don't want you guys to get your hopes up."
It raises the stakes too high. It's like if you're not going to have them, then like you need to go ahead and nip that in the bud because of and like I said, you could find a fun way to say it. You don't have to be like, "No, we're not going to do that," and then give us some BS reason. I'm not saying he would. I'm just saying like there's a fun way you could get that across. Hey guys, we're going to invite them out to the the premiere and stuff, but like they're not going to be. We don't have intentions to write them into the story. You could say that, but in the same breath, we build it up as if we're supposed to get 45 minutes of both of them in the movie. It's like chances are we could get like Elijah Wood in Spy Kids 3D. Like Elijah Wood was in that movie for all of like 15 seconds. He came out, he was like this champion guy, and then he died like 5 seconds later. If I will be pretty upset. I would rather them not have these people in the movie if what's going to happen is they're going to come out and it's going to be like, yeah, and they have one fight scene for like 4 minutes and everything was like Tom Holland. I want to know that Tom Holland was in the same production warehouse as Tobey Maguire, as Andrew Garfield. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
I don't want it to feel like a green screen situation where they just pop in like, "Hey guys, I'll see you later."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, no, I cut you off again. I didn't mean to, but
it's all
just
good.
to me, it's one of those things where it's like, if they're in there at all, the moment in the theater is going to be worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, whether they're in there for 30 seconds or 30 minutes or the whole movie, the whole experience that will be them being in the movie will be exhilarating, and everyone in there is going to laugh at everything that's said. They're going to cry at every fight. They're going to hold their breath. Everybody's going to freak out if any of those boys are on screen. Yep. But if you give me 15 seconds of this, I can assure you that I am going to come back later on your show next time I'm on here after that movie comes out, and I'm going to give it a hard time and be like, oh, why did you waste my time with this?
Yeah.
I don't want 10 seconds.
I think that I need to bring you on for the review after that movie's done. We need to do the review together.
Well, you can find me within 48 hours after that movie comes out because I'm going to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like that's one I'm going to see in theaters for sure.
Here's hoping that they give us at least 5 to 10 minutes. At least Kevin Feige, Marvel, Disney, please just give us 5 to 10 minutes. Even though the movie's already been made at this point, I'm sure the final edit's already complete.
Give me 5 minutes, or you could give me 3 hours. It's like anywhere in that realm of possibility, I'm willing to accept. Obviously, the topic of conversation here is whether or not those fellows are going to be in the movie. I personally have high hopes for the film, but I'm also not. I am critical because it's easy and lackadaisical to be critical. Like when it comes to something like when I went and saw Batman versus Superman, you guys had last time I was on here, I think we talked about it a little bit. I gave it a hard time. I was like, I gave it a hard time 2 weeks after I watched it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when I was sitting in the theater, I didn't have high expectations because I had not known any. Jason 𝐤𝐤𝐬, shout out to Jason 𝐤𝐤𝐬. He said, "Hey man, y'all want to come with us? We're going to watch this movie, blah, blah, blah." And me and my wife were just recently started dating at the time. So I was like, it's a great time to go socialize with people. And it's in her town and I'll be in town and I get a free ride to Hattiesburg. And we capitalized on it. And I was like, oh, it's not a bad movie. I was a contrarian in the group, of course, because I said it wasn't a bad movie. Everybody else was like, this, I cannot believe that we just like that they just squandered this experience. I digress, but I'm hoping that what happens with this movie, and I don't expect anything less, man. It's going to be a great movie no matter what, because Kevin Feige's name's on it. And if our expectations fall short, like if we do not get what we wanted, then we will eventually get over it because Kevin's not done and he'll put something out that's going to change our minds. But for now, I'm holding on to hope that the guys are in the movie, because that's, I mean, you know, it's like the Saints going to the Super Bowl, but I think there's better chance that these guys will be in the movie.
We got to keep our expectations in check. However, this is like one of the biggest event films like in a long time, especially for Spider-Man. So here's hoping, man. We'll see.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm right here with you. I'm holding my breath.
Well, hey, Shane, I know you got something you want to plug. Tell us about Organic Poison.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have a podcast called Organic Poison. You guys should go check it out. I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's a little less tamed than John's show, but this show is probably I'm going to be moving in with Jonathan once he takes off and starts his YouTube mansion and is wanting content creators. I will live in the basement. I don't mind. My wife and child might mind, but I will not mind. But also, John, if you don't mind, I'd like to plug a concert I have coming up soon.
Yeah, go ahead.
In 𝐬𝐚, Mississippi. If you guys happen to be interested in rap music and you're above the age of 17, there's going to be a concert on November 6th. That's a week from yesterday. So probably a week from 2 days before, 3 days before you heard this. Anyway, Saturday, November 6th. Pull up. It's in 𝐬𝐚 State Theater. Look it up. It's on Facebook, and you can find something to do with it on Instagram. But it'd be awesome if you guys came. We make rap music, and we're going to be turning the city of 𝐬𝐚 into flames. It's going to be wonderful, but all in a good spirit. It's a fundraiser, so you guys pull up.
That's awesome. Heck yeah. And Organic Poison, you got the podcast too, right?
Yeah. My podcast is Organic Poison. I also make rap music if you guys want to check that out. But my podcast is kind of slowly becoming more the bread and butter these days. So if you guys would be interested in checking that out, my Instagram handle is also 𝐤𝐸𝐤𝐤. That's 𝐠HANEISO. And I'd love to have you guys come holler at me. Check out my podcast because we talk about all kinds of topics on there. I've got John coming up on an episode hopefully soon, right, John?
Very soon. Yep.
Yeah. John's a good guy, so I like to have good guys on my podcast. And I like to have good gals, but it's weird doing that, so I haven't done it yet. It is what it is.
Shane, thank you so much for joining me today, man. And everyone else, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Real Comic Book Cinema. We also have a Facebook account, same thing, Comic Book Cinema. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day.